Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Brandon Roll. I am with the North Florida PGA staff. It's great to have you all here for the Tag Marshall webinar. Going to get a chance to learn a lot today from one of our NFPGA associates at Grasslands Golf and Country Club. As you know, Tag Marshall has been a long-term partner here in the North Florida PGA. They're doing a lot of very, very cool things around Florida, along with the South Florida PGA. They're getting great data out of this region, and that's one of the reasons we're excited to bring this webinar to you today. Tag Marshall has been a great partner of ours. We appreciate their support and what they are doing along with us, our PGA members and associates, the South Florida PGA members and associates, to ultimately grow the game. That's what we're here to do, to make the game better, serve the game, and we're very fortunate to have Tag Marshall doing that with us, alongside with us. And with that, we are going to kick things off. I'm excited to introduce Adam Goetsch. Adam is an NFPGA associate. He is at Grasslands Golf and Country Club, and he is going to run through a variety of things of what they do at Grasslands, how they're able to work with Tag Marshall, and we're really looking forward to seeing what Grasslands is doing with Tag Marshall and how you can implement what they are doing. As a reminder, you get a PDR credits here for this education. You do need to be on the call for the entire time. That is the one thing that Zoom helps us track. And Tag Marshall, along with ourselves, are welcome to Adam and Grasslands Golf and Country Club. Adam, good morning.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
Well, it's looking forward to hearing from y'all. Excited to see what you have presenting. So turn it over to Bodo, Tag Marshall, and Adam. Good.
Brilliant. Thanks for the introduction, Brandon, and we appreciate all the work that you guys do, and also the many events that you set up for the pros in the area. It never goes unnoticed. And as you're saying, we benchmark all the states that we're in, and also nationwide. And there's lots of really strong data coming out of Florida. Lots of quick golf and golf that's getting quicker, which is great to see. That's what we're here for. I'm excited to have Adam with us today. I see that there's two Adams. One is clean shaven and one is ready to play golf.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. I think that picture is probably a couple years old, but I think I prefer a little bit of this. I think people take you a little bit more seriously. Like, I think my face looks more serious when I have a beard, so we'll keep rocking this.
Absolutely agree with you. And also, there's a bit of white in the beard. That's when
yes, yeah, that's
you have earned your stripes. Adam, we're excited to learn a bit more, and just want to introduce the title of our session. Quick rounds, exceptional member experiences, on-course tech and data at Grasslands Golf and Country Club. And this is what we're all about. So, Adam, I'd love for you to give an introduction to the course and what you're all about, and also to yourself and your journey in the game. It's always exciting, and there's nothing better than the community that is golf and the people that manage the game. So we'd love to learn more.
So Grasslands, just in general, founded in 1991. A really interesting initial layout. They very shaved, like mounding and stuff. There wasn't a whole lot of rough. It was very much like a linked style golf course is what they wanted. It is now since changed. It's more like, I would say, more traditional style golf course, very straightforward, as far as greens, fairways, rough, very traditional, American golf. But great shape. It's gone under multiple renovations. The most recent one was last summer. When we go into renovations, this is my 5th golf course renovation. So what I found is that we have an incredible opportunity in renovations to do systemic changes on a golf course. And one of those things that we didn't do well, like we are a private facility. We don't have the ability to see our golf course from the pro shop. So it's like, what are the things that we can do to actually see the golf course, see what's going on, make sure that we're round counting properly, make sure that we're managing the golf course properly. What are the tools that we can start to kind of seek out to accomplish those goals. And again, golf course renovations is one of the best things that can happen to your facility, because you actually have time to step back and view the entire operation as a whole. And it's like, okay, if we need to do things from a staffing standpoint, golf course management standpoint, whatever those things are, that gives us our best opportunity to do those things. So we were very lucky in being able to do a golf course renovation, and I'm happy to be a part of it. Again, it's my 5th one, so I feel like I have a better, I was at Stream Song when they did Red and Blue. I was at Broken Sound Club when they did their new course. I was at the Boca Resort when they did their country club course. So it's like I've gotten to see, kind of how that works and the things that you can implement during those times. And that's been a huge benefit for us here. And, obviously the facilities I worked at were really awesome. The Boca Resort was great. Sam Snead and Tommy Armour were both, directors of golf once upon a time. Those are some pretty cool names. Broken Sound Club had the Allianz Championship. We've now just this season had an Epson Tour event here and got rave reviews, even from the players. It was one of their favorite events. One of their favorite facilities. The grass here was the surfaces were amazing. So, I mean, we've done a really, really good job. And I think a lot of that has to do with the way that we've been able to protect the golf course. And some of that comes from the tools that we implemented throughout last summer and into the fall, including Tag Marshall.
Fantastic. We're obviously very familiar with Stream Song, and what a fantastic destination that is. And I also know how data-driven the ownership is there, right? So it's great to see that you have adopted some of those principles when you switched over. And 2 things I'm hearing is the line of sight, right? You really want to know what's happening on the golf course and protecting turf. And ultimately, we're here to create experiences, like you said. Even on tour, you're getting rave reviews, so you're hitting the mark. Taking a step back, what's your member base like, and what's success look like for you guys in terms of round count, and what golf do you offer other than member and the guest rounds?
So we really have 2 kind of components to our facility. We are closed on Mondays, and we use Mondays as outside events. But, as far as our membership goes, we're looking at like 350 members, 350 golfing members, 22,000 rounds a year. But we want to make sure that, the facility, it's a very golf-centric facility. We've got a lot of really good golfers here, a lot of daily games and things like that, like very, very golf-centric. So it's really important that we keep those surfaces in kind of tip-top shape. And one of the things that's, I think, helped us is being able to control the golf course when we're not physically on the golf course.
Great. So now we'll obviously talk about the technology and how that's been helpful to you guys, and that's what we're here for. But if you'll allow me, and thanks for the introduction and giving us a bit of color as to your journey. Funny that you might get typecast for the manager to get when you do a renovation, right? You've got so much experience now.
Yeah.
Also met managers who have a lot of experience in opening up a club, right? Because that's another setting the standards from the get-go. That's another genre altogether. So don't be surprised. As much as Grasslands will do everything they can to keep you for a very long time. And
I'm experiencing that. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So a quick intro to Tag Marshall for those of you who don't know. You will. Yeah. My name is. Not the usual. Bodo is a German name, so that explains a bit of an accent too. So we are a data company in golf, and our mission is to bring optimization and process optimization onto your operation. We have two great teachers. One is people, right? Always want to listen to good partners like Adam here, or some of the other managers that we work with. Some we have had 10-year relationships with now, like Aaron Hills, for instance, happened to be our very first partner. And Pinehurst certainly is they consider themselves a petri dish for innovation, right? So a fantastic partner for us to work with and learn from. And all the way to Shinnecock, we're excited for that US Open tournament to level up in terms of majors for 2026, so just a few weeks away. And then also the tours. We've been partners for a few years now with the DP World Tour and a few others, doing some big events, and we get to learn from the people that run it, and we get to learn from their requirements. And the other big teacher for us is data, right? So there's close to 100 million hours of golf tracked now. That's a lot of data for us to learn from, and learn from the patterns and what works. And with that comes even more data. It's 100 billion data points, because every single round has a couple of hundred data points. And this really now has taken on exciting level of volume for us with 900 or so partner courses, and every single round it gets played and tracked, our system gets a little bit better, and that's what we bring back to the operators, because as much as you have experience of having managed and worked at a couple of operations, which gives you fantastic insight. What if we can take experience from 1,000 golf courses, right, and distill it down to what really floats you upwards in terms of performance? And that's obviously where data and scale comes into play. But going back to you, Adam, and we mentioned that, I don't know if you ever thought about how many hundreds and thousands of rounds and golfers you have stewarded and looked after in your career, but you would certainly know what they want from you, right? When it comes to what the player experience is all about for players. And if you look at this list here, and if you had to pick 3 from this list, which ones are the non-negotiables you think, as far as the players go?
I think, facility specific, I would say absolutely course conditioning, the clubhouse, or not the clubhouse and amending, but pace and flow of play, and then value and cost. Like those are 3 absolutely. I know for sure if our golf course was on the coast, it would be quadruple what it costs, to play here, because it is that good in Central Florida. But here, our pace of play, our average pace of play is in that 3-hour 41 kind of range. We're not Seminole, but we have Seminole expectations. We want to play fast, and we also want the golf course to be in great condition at all times. Like those are absolutely non-negotiable.
Sure. Look, anecdotally, a lot of golfers would say, yeah, but the research fully backs you here, right? So the USGA researched this at length, also on multiple occasions, and they find that 84% of golfers are stating conditioning is the number one experience factor. 76% are saying who's in my playing group, right? They're playing partners. It's obviously important for that to look around. And then the third one, 74% is saying pace and flow of play. So you're spot on. And I would always argue that if your conditioning is great and your presentation of the course in terms of pace is great, that's value to players, right? So I couldn't agree more. Let me jump into one other research point here that's always interesting, because the conditioning, if there are days where it's a bit off, right, and it's not overnight that it changes, players will forgive you as long as they know that you're putting in the effort and that things will get better again. And it's incredibly sensitive, and you guys all need to buy your greenkeepers lots of lunches, coffees or beers, whatever floats their boat. They are the actual heroes, no, especially in Florida, right, where you're doing so much volume at a period where nothing really grows. So hats off to them. So the conditioning is and players, you want them to be understanding, and generally if there's communication, and hopefully you don't get served some bad issues out on the golf course, or or terrible weather that really ruins your conditioning. But the other thing that is from a research point of view that shows as the most polar in the player experience is pace of play. So out of 1,000 touch points that a player experiences in a round, and that includes loading their clubs into the trunk, booking their round, driving through the gate, all these little touch points, and the researchers want to understand which ones are delight factors and which ones are neutral factors, which ones are frustrators. So the worst frustrating factors are corrective pace of play actions. So that is research speak for, hey, you're slow, get on with it, right? That's what players really cannot compute. That's the worst thing, and it runs around. Similarly, other people's speed, if the perception is other people are too slow, ruins a player's round. That's the worst, minus 1,000. Nothing worse, okay? We'll forgive you if the greens are out of shape today, or if the fairway is a bit yellow on this patch. We'll forgive that to you. But if the pace is bad, end of the world, right? And then on the flip side, etiquette and friendliness by the player assistant. So that martial rangering role being constructive and positive has even higher ranking than fantastic conditioning, because it's so unexpected, right? And you can see how those immediately correlate. Corrective pace of play action, worst. The person coming out to chat to me is friendly, best thing ever, right? And then somewhere close to that, in between conditioning and others, is information provided about pace of play expectations. And this is really the club making sure that the players feel like there is a level of information available and care for their time. And other people know that there's rules, right? Because as a player, I never feel I'm slow. Everyone else is slow, right? So I want to feel protected, like, yes, there's competency, and the club will make sure that things move. Adam, are you at all surprised that it's this very polar from as far as the research goes?
I mean, it seems pretty spot on. I mean, I think that's everybody's expectation. I mean, this seems, very, very on point.
If anyone's interested to see this study, it's a really cool slideshow that shows the journey of a golfer and where those critical points are for them. Some of them are nth degree, in fairness, but you will really see what matters to golfers, and we can always learn more, right? So let us know, and we'll share it with you, or send you the link to the USGA website where it's available. So the other research partner of ours is an integration partner called Players First, and they do post-round surveys by the millions. So they are now probably one of the key player data providers to the National Golf Foundation, because they just do so many surveys. And again, they want to distill things down to what really matters that you can do right for your golfers. And in simple terms, golfers, there are a few things we need to do well. They want to feel welcome. They want good flow on the golf course. And this is an interesting one. They want to meet on-course staff, right? Because they're out there for 4 hours, 4.5, 4:10, whatever it is, 350. That's a long time. They want to have some human interaction out there that looks after them, has a level of service, a friendly smile. It tells them about the course setup, about especially in the grow, whatever it is. This is the office, right? This is the restaurant. They want some level of interaction. And if they're not feeling welcome, if the flow is bad, if they're not meeting anyone out there that's there, to assist and look after them, two things happen. Restaurant visits go down, and most importantly, the net promoter score, which is that good old measure out of 10, how likely are you to recommend this golf course to your friends and family, or this airline or hotel, whatever it is, it rock bottoms, right? Whereas if you get these things right, so simple, it shoots way up the happiness scale. So the meeting on-course staff is something that I want to tap into with you, Adam, because of course you don't want to just position people out there and pay them just for the sake of it. But how do you guys think about the on-course interactions and to make those count and make those positive?
So part of the program that we have here, we actually have tablets. So the guys can see the golf course at all times. when people pull in, we immediately meet them at their vehicles with golf carts. Like, we don't wait for them to come up and check in, nothing like that. So the first touch point is our outside staff. Our outside staff, takes care of them immediately, directs them where the range is, directs them where to come into the pro shop and check in. Going to the first tee, there's nobody on the first tee, but this facility has been so ingrained, like they all know what they're doing. So they know what time they're going, and we can keep track of it on the Tag Marshal tablets. And then also, as they're going around, obviously, if we run into issues where we have delayers or anything like that, we can go out and kind of meet them where they're at and, ask them if they need anything. There's ways to communicate, with people without, upsetting their round. And then when they're done, as they're coming up 18, our staff uses the tablets, realizes, hey, I've got 6 groups, going to be finishing within the next hour and a half. And they'll go and somebody will position themselves on the 18th green, and they'll actually wash the clubs as the members finish up, and just kind of encompassing the experience. It's just like, hey, they know what to expect when they go out and when they come in.
That's brilliant. I love how proactive you are around that, and I'm sure the members will thank you for it, right? And
they love it. I mean, it's even from like an experience for our outside staff. We went from an outside staff that really didn't, they didn't know how to make tips. The staffing and expectation before wasn't what it is now. And obviously tools help that. But now the staff, I mean, they're making, they're making cash hand over fist on the weekends, because they know when to go and be in these locations. And they're not just sitting out there. They're not just sitting on 18. Like, they only go out there when they're, when the groups are finishing up, so they're still back here. They're still, feeding the range. They're still pushing balls on the chipping green, making sure that all the things are done that need to be done, but they're able to manage their time so much better, having those tools in place.
Yeah, that's great to hear. And then obviously there's the personalization of this. Once you have line of sight and the tools, as you say, like we have a partner, if a player says, I'd love a cappuccino on hole 5, right, on the green, you can make that happen because you can see them approaching 10 minutes away now. And so you can take it to the nth and absolute top level of white gloving. But obviously you need some level of what's reasonable, but there's always quick wins, and especially if you have the right workflow and you can empower your staff with the right tools. That's great to hear. One more question for you, Adam. And obviously you've been around the block here and you've seen the game get younger over the years, right? As we're getting older and there's gray in our beards, that's inevitable. But what is new now is that golf's youngest cohort, 18 to 34, is now the biggest. And this is since Tiger Mania, for the first time, this is the biggest cohort. It used to be the 50 to 64s was the biggest, and now you have more young players joining the game. So from your standpoint, how are you seeing the member base change over time? Are there any programs that you're running to attract younger members, maybe families? How are you guys thinking about that?
So obviously, I think everybody's kind of experiencing it right now. Like, we've got such an influx of younger members. It feels like every new member we get is, under 40. They've got, if they don't have kids yet, they have young kids. And our junior program, we've noticed, has exploded. Very much more robust, and the anticipation of our junior programs is much higher than it ever was. There's a lot of anticipation. These people are asking about our summer, junior programs in January. They are ready for it, and we've implemented little programs here and there just to kind of supplement that desire. But it's definitely it's growing. We're getting younger. Everybody's getting younger. I think it's just a reality of the game, and I don't know if it's a COVID afterthought. Everybody kind of jumped into golf 5 years ago or 6 years ago, and here we are. I mean, it's booming. It's not going anywhere. We're just, we're going to keep growing just like everybody else.
Sure. Brilliant. And it's good, obviously, to have waiting lists and to have demand, right? But even better if you can make more players happy and create a bit more capacity potentially to get them out on a Saturday. That one last data point to share, that Net Promoter Score was also analyzed by type of golf. So resort is really high from a Net Promoter Score point of view. Yeah, no doubt it's that once or twice a year trip away. We look forward to it, right? And obviously, if we're paying $1,000 for our experience, it's probably going to be great. And you were at Streamsong. I don't think there are many people leaving Streamsong unhappy, right? It's
no,
and there's good reasons for it, right?
It's probably the best collection of golf in Florida. There's no doubt. I mean, there's Cabot did a really good job, but I mean, Streamsong is a special spot for sure.
For sure. No, we work with them at Bandon, Sand Valley. They're amazing resorts, and really the control that the operators have put in place and how they empower their teams to make sure that the Net Promoter Score is always top notch and the intent to return is as close to 100% as you can get is immense. It's great to see. But how what's interesting is that the private club Net Promoter Score is a bit lower, so there's always work to be done, and of course this is average, right, and every course is different. But I've heard a manager say, when the pace was bad, then the beer is too warm and the steak is overdone. Like when the pace was bad on the golf course, everything else just falls apart and it becomes a topic every day, and then one member says this about another member, and it's really not a healthy, happy space. So having controls over that and making that a non-issue really elevates everything else that you're putting effort in and around the course. Okay, so let's talk about the technology a little bit and what you guys have got in place. So from Tag Marshal's standpoint, we are what you call an agnostic technology provider. So we can put our system into any cart that you might have, right? So that might be any one of the big three, or if you have private carts that might be 6 years old, or it might be a brand that's not well known, we will put that on the map, if you will, and we'll make sure that there's a solution that we can install. And we've literally seen it all, especially in Florida, as you know. And also we can track your walkers, because that at some courses is very important, and we have courses that only do that, right? So it's agnostic in terms of, yes, we'll solve the problem at a private, semi-private, resort, municipal, any type of course, and we'll make sure that whatever your mobility is will match you. And then we will track the data. It comes into our cloud server and we analyze it and we give it back to you in a way that is easy and intuitive for you and your team to work with. We'll talk more about that, but tell us quickly about the system that you have got in place across your fleet, and then also what you've done for the member cards.
Yep. So we do have we obviously have our fleet carts, and then we have member-owned carts. So they're able to drive their own golf carts out here as long as they conform to the rules that we have set in place. The screens that we have on the fleet carts are the 10-inch screens, which are awesome. These screens are great. The 8-inch screen I thought was great as well, but the 10-inch screen is it's so much bigger, so much nicer. And then in the member cards, currently they will have the option to get the screens in the future. I think we were talking sometime this summer, maybe. Just depending on availability and whatnot. But right now they do have the trackers. So we are able to track everything on the golf course. And, like I said before, the outside staff has those tablets, and they are assigning when people come up for their tee time, because we did the Jonas integration as well, which has been fantastic. Now that we've been able to, kind of use it and kind of see everything. When we update, somebody calls in day of and adds themselves to the tee sheet, the outside staff has a live tee sheet. I don't have to reprint tee sheets. I don't have to radio it. I don't have to do anything. They have a live tee sheet, and they're able to go in and assign golf carts to those tee times. So we're able to not only track the member carts, which was really important because unfortunately those are your more habitual abusers of the golf course, because there's not a whole lot of rules there. But being able to track both is a fantastic option, and we're certainly using it to its best capacity for right now, for sure.
Great. I know that the thought process very often is, okay, well, are the members, how are they going to respond, right? Like if we're asking them to track their cars, and I know that the case is, hey guys, you love great conditioning at our course. Give us an opportunity to level the playing field and really measure everything that we do here. And then some might say, well, I don't want you tracking me when I'm driving around the neighborhood. I'm not on the golf courses. Fine, we won't, right? We are not seeing you when you're not on the golf course and around, unless you're asking us to, and then we can turn it on, say your car's gone missing. So there's actually benefit here. So, and also, like you said, the hidden away tracker is a good start point. And then people or members very often say, well, I played with one of the units the other day and one of your carts, I really liked it. I think I'll just get one, right? So they make the decision themselves. Is this more or less how things have gone with you guys?
Yes. Yeah, basically. Yeah. And even, to speak on what you just said, I think the privacy was the biggest thing, first off. But the nice thing was, and like I said before, when you're going into a renovation, that's the time for systemic change at your facility. That, like, if you really want to flip the coin, that's the time to do it. And for us, when we were looking at what we were spending and what we were putting into a renovation for a golf course, and changing the surfaces and changing bunkers, changing greens, doing those things, how do we protect it? And it's like, okay, so we look at tools that we can essentially implement to do that, and this was one of those tools. And it's like, tracking is part of it, but we can, like you said, we're not tracking you at home. We're not tracking you where you don't want to be tracked. We're only tracking you on the golf course. So that was a big thing. I think initially, everybody's afraid of Big Brother. Sure. It's like, I'm not trying to be Big Brother, but it is what it is. We got to protect the golf course. I don't care what you're doing in the community. I don't care if you're doing donuts or at the pool or what. That's not up for me to decide. It's like, I'm only here to protect the golf course and to make sure that you guys have a great time. So it's been great for that so far.
Sure. Yeah, and Big Brother is here.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm trying to show that
you're being tracked. No doubt.
We're being tracked, right? Google knows where I'm at. Waze knows where I'm at, right?
Every time I leave the house, it's like, oh, you're 20 minutes from work. I'm like, oh.
How did you know? Anyway, so we here we're showing that's actually an 8-inch to 10-inch. I think it's just a decision. Do you want a bit more screen space? And then the tracker goes into the card. Okay, so then let's quickly talk about what you guys see. And you mentioned, and I'm going to show that here. So up here's your clubhouse. You're working around some residential. There's quite a lot of water to get from one end of the course to another. It's not direct, and you certainly can't see it. Who have you got dialed in? Who's got access to the program, and what is it that you want them to look out for with the system?
Yep. So currently we have a couple superintendents that have access on their end, and they actually look at the pins and things like that in the morning. And then also in Florida, and I mean, I'm pretty sure probably everybody on this call is dealing with it in some capacity or another, the water restrictions in the state. So we've been going through and basically 2 holes every couple of days are cart path only. The superintendents have complete access to that. They decide what holes they want to protect on what certain days. And then, it's automatically set up in the system. And, if you drive out in the fairway, the buzzer goes off, whether you're in a private cart or not. Even if they're not looking at their emails and not seeing, what's going on, they still get that kind of notification, like, hey, like, you're not supposed to be here. They might not know why they're not supposed to be there, because if they didn't read any of their communications, but again, it's still there and it's still protecting the golf course. But then outside of that, we've got 4 golf professionals here. My head golf professional, Tom Walters, and then Darren Burns and Cody Creel as well. We all have access to the system. We, complete full access. So we can protect the golf course or send messages or do anything that we please.
Let me jump back one. We're zooming in a little bit on the colors. So one of the things I mentioned earlier, the goal is to take lots of data and make sense of it quickly, right? So that you can see in 2 seconds what's happening. And the way in which we do this is we use color and sizing of icons. So let me just talk to that for 20 seconds. So the big color to look out for is this purple and magenta. That is your delaying group. So this group's delaying, and we've established that because they are quite early on in their round. There's a big gap to the group ahead that's opened up, and they are 10 minutes out of position, right? So and they have a group behind them. This is orange. Orange is your delayed. So this is your biggest problem, and we evaluate a number of variables all the time, so we can show you not just here are the problems. There might be 10 problems, but here's your biggest problem, and then we go down the ranks of the problems as they get a bit less intense. So one of the things you mentioned, Adam, is the tee sheet integration, and that pulls the player names basically onto your map. So if I click on this group 28, I know who's in it. How is that helpful to the team in terms of the communication and just your planning and your approaches when you're engaging with players?
Oh, huge. I mean, because it at least gives you a little bit of a plan before you, like when you actually have to go out and address an issue, you know exactly who's in that cart, you know what to expect. It's so much easier having that, being able to look and know who's on the golf course, what they normally do, the things that, their normal tendencies, like it's like, oh yeah, that's so-and-so, like they're normally 15 minutes slow or whatever. It's like, all right, you know the interaction before you get there, essentially.
Yeah. One of the things that also then happens is we can then create profiles, right? Because we can see the players and the amount of rounds they played, when they played, and what's their profile in terms of, are they likely pace risk to you, or are they quick? And sometimes you have a fast play problem, right? Some players are so quick that they might pick up the phone and say, oh, guys in front of us are slow. No, they're actually compliant. You are just too fast, and it's obviously helpful to have the data. We'll talk a bit more about the management of it. I think this is a key phrase, and I want all of you guys to take note. If you have team members interacting with players, whether you have a system or not, the word to avoid is slow, and the word to say is you're out of position, right? And that can be distance, 200, 300, 500 yards out of position, or 5 minutes out of position. Help me get back in position. Players will compute that. The moment they hear slow, the brain shuts off and the heart rate goes up, right? It's about positioning, right? So the system can be set to a threshold so that it automatically alerts the players. And also we have the same color code down here where we're showing this is your status right now. You're a delayer or you're green, you're good to go. So obviously you have the ability to talk to the cards. You can send messages out, you can prompt people. What is your policy around, yeah, we'll do that, or we'll go and actually go chat to them?
So we haven't defined exactly how to communicate. We have sent messages in the past, but I think for us, especially being that we don't do a ton of rounds here, until it becomes an actual issue on the golf course, like even if you're playing slow and the group behind you is playing slow, communicating I feel like it's only necessary here if the group has a problem. It's like if they're just like, hey, like that group's slow, that type of thing, like, they call in, whatever the case may be. And we have utilized it for sure on Monday events, outside events, when groups are behind. That's a no-brainer. We send those messages. But when it comes to our membership we really try to cater to them and make sure that, you know, they feel like they're having a great experience out here. If they don't, you know, if they don't see an issue, we don't call, you know, we don't, you know, basically shine a light on it. But if there is an issue, that's when we would basically communicate it to them.
Sure. Okay. So look, I like the soft touch with the members, but on a Monday is a different animal, right? You have
different. Yep. Send it.
Yeah. And I do think also, and we can talk about that in your setup and your ability to control things. Your setups are quite different if you know it's just members playing versus an open day and a big event, and that makes total sense. It's not the same world. And one of the things that's important, and we need to do our jobs, in saving you hours and making things easier for you. So the efficiency and automation side is always key. Sometimes things don't go well. Like there's no perfect solution in terms of not every single round that you serve up can be perfect. But sometimes also players perceive like, oh, this was 5 hours, I had to wait at every hole. So one of the things that we have is a track map. So then we can also see where did people go, where didn't they go, did they potentially breach a geofence, what were the interactions with the team like? It's a history, right? How do you guys use that, or do you have any war stories of when it came in handy?
Oh man, yeah. You never know what's going on the golf course unless you're out there, except for if you have a system like this, which is awesome. We had not too long ago, when you see golf cart tracks going through a bunker, and you're like, who and what, you know, how did this occur? You know, and you can go back and actually hit the map and find out who it was, find out what cart number it was, and, you know, ask them about it. You know, and granted, the guy that did it was very apologetic. He wasn't paying attention and just kind of drove through the end of the bunker. And, you know, we just, you know, we wipe our hands of it and, you know, rake the bunker, and it is what it is. But you also get the people who, you know, say, when we decided to put this in, we had a lot of people driving in places where they shouldn't be driving, you know, just in general, but we had no way to track it, and we had no way of knowing when, you know, and where they were doing it. And so when we originally installed everything, we had a lot of people calling like, hey, you know, it's going off on me right of 2. And I'm like, well, you're not supposed to drive right of 2. You know, like you're literally where you're not supposed to be. It's just like, oh, it's, you know, right of 16. It's like, well, you're not supposed to be right of 16. You know, so it's a re-education for all of us, but having the map and being able to see exactly where they were and where it was going off, you know, is super beneficial for us, because we're reaffirming, you know, the policies and standards that we put in place.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that because, as you said, it beeps, right? So the screen obviously pops up a display. You're in geofenced areas. Please, get back into where you're supposed to be, or back on a cart path, whatever it is. But the private carts will beep at the players. It's like a track reversing, right? So it's something that you're not going to ignore, and people adjust their behaviors, and that's when we're doing our jobs in terms of the system. And it's great to hear that that's working out. And I know one person that is very happy that it's working. That's your superintendent, right?
He's loving it.
Especially after the renovations, as you said. But your course, whether you renovate it or not, is always your prime asset, right? And it needs protecting, especially as things get busier, or if there's water challenges like you've currently had, or if there's too much water, right? Which may come the next few months, who knows?
Hopefully, fingers crossed. I mean, I'm ready for some rain at this point, you know. But yeah, there's nobody under more scrutiny and pressure than your superintendent. And so to have tools in place that help him, you know, put out a really good product. You know, golf pros are the face. You know, they're the backbone. You know, we might get a lot of the praise, but I tell you what, those guys are the heroes.
No doubt. And then just curious in terms of how you set up these geofences and templates. days of the week, times, on off? How are you finding that?
So, I mean, as far as when we originally set up the geofences, it was more about, it was kind of, trying to figure out what's what, how close do we want to allow people to get to the greens. We do have indicators for the members, which is really great. We have blue stakes in the approach to the green. So on either side of the approach of the fairway, it tells you where to exit. So that's really easy. One of the tough things with that, though, is obviously like the superintendents pull those stakes when they mow. So that turns into it was going off and I was 15 feet from the blue stakes. It's like, well, it's like it's not perfect. It's a general, it's a general idea of where to move, but just it's very easy to use the program and to make adjustments. So when we do need to make adjustments, we do it within a few minutes and it's perfect. It's very easy to use.
Yeah, and I know sometimes the stakes move, right? Because if somebody's there to mow, that's just another thing they need to do,
yeah.
Right? It may have moved a few yards, but it's great to hear. One of the things that at some locations that's relevant is that we could fence off the residential area, right? If you've got guest play or if you've got an open day. So that nobody goes in there, or we could fence off the entire property at night. It's like anything that moves out of this is not supposed to, like basically somebody's taken our carts where they're not supposed to go. We have recovered a bunch of golf carts that were going walkabouts on flatbeds like that. And then I know that obviously it's your first season and there's lots more that you want to do. How are you guys thinking about tournaments and doing the live scoring on the screen?
So that's one of the things I'm really excited about, because we're a very golf centric facility. Everybody knows how to use Golf Genius. We do everything on Golf Genius. So that was an integration that I'm really excited about. I know we have the integration done and completed. It's not something that we've tested yet, but as soon as I know for sure that they would rather do it on the screen than have to pull out their phone every time and do it. So I think that's one of the things that we're really excited about. Right now we're happy as a clam with the Jonas integration and being able to see the live tee sheet and things like that, but that is something going forward that we will absolutely be implementing, is the live scoring on the screens.
Great. The way we've designed it, so like one touch down here and it opens. And then we can also prompt the players to score enter when they haven't done it once they've come off the green, so that helps keeping the score up to date as the day progresses, and you don't have to chase people. And it's obviously great if you've got up-to-date scoring, then people get into it and they have that real-time tournament experience. And I know that we've done our jobs when an operator says, well, we haven't done paper scoring here for a while, right? And because it works and the players have adopted it. Okay, we've got about just under 15 minutes to go. Making good pace here, Adam, thank you. Using data to gain deeper course and member understanding. You mentioned this earlier that you want oversight and really to know as much as you can, and also then use that information to get better and make changes. So one of the things that's very important to us is to provide data and analytics and then make it accessible in terms of this needs to be helpful to you so you can use it and manage things better, make better decisions. So this is a single day where you can see every single tee time on that day, and you can see the same colors again. The colors carry through. Here's a delay, here's a delayed group, then things go back on track. Down here is your hole by hole run times broken down into time on tee, time on fairway, time on green. Very often people are sensitive about tee box wait times, right? So we want to make sure that there's as little as possible. And then we're tracking, are we assigning, or is the system auto assigning so that we've got as much information as possible, because otherwise we may not know, is it a twosome, threesome, foursome, as much data as possible. Did they play 9 holes? Did they play full 18? Did they start on the first? At some courses you might have might start on the back nine. And then what was the pace that was set in terms of the goal time, which doesn't have to be one goal time. You can have a staggered approach to that. And then how did the day go, right, in terms of percentage of rounds on pace? So this is really an overview, and then we can dial that out, and we can look at a week, we can look at a month, we can look at the season, and really understand how things going, and also look at when things didn't go so well and what can we learn from those days. So how is that helpful to you guys? Do you use it to report up to the committee? Who wants to see that?
I mean, it's super helpful. Obviously, our first times of the day, especially like when we're talking about staggered, paces of play, we want our first times out to play the fastest rounds of the day. We don't want the first group out to play in 4:15. That's going to cause an issue. I'm very grateful that at this facility we do have a very fast pace of play. It almost doesn't matter what time you go out, except for like our busy days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It might be a little longer than 4 hours on some of those times, but for the majority, like your average play, your men's games, even ladies' day and things like that, our pace of play is tight. I mean, if it takes them longer than 3 hours and 45 minutes, that's when you start to hear about some, you start to hear the complaints, so for the most part, we are very good about pace of play. And again, it's because we are at a facility that's very golf centric. And they know what they're doing. They know what they're here to do. They get here, they go to the tee, they know what time they're teeing off. There's no questions. We don't need all the extra, people on the golf course to maintain it. We don't need rangers. We don't need starters. They know what they're doing when they get here. That's for sure.
Cool. Yeah, you've created a culture, right? And the certain process flows that over time, and now you have a way to track and get even better. And to your point, and I just want to congratulate you and the team on your season, which is November through April. Everything that you've played, including your corporate days, averaged in at 3 hours 41. So 3 hours 40 pace is fantastic. Look, a lot comes down to design, right? And what's the transition between holes like? And yes, at another course, 4 hours 20 might be the time, right? And 4 hours 20 is the time of your lives. But what you want to make sure is that you're consistent around it, and that there's not one day 4 hours 10, one day 4 hours 55, right? And there's waiting. So you have things really dialed in, and I really like that you're so mindful of starting the day well. You've got 3 hours 22 as your first hour of the day play, and that does pull the day along, right? And in an ideal scenario, you want to allocate players that want to play this quickly, give them what they want, and they love you for it, and you're actually doing your day's operation a favor. And you can see that here, that this blue line is the goal time, how Adam and the team have staggered that to start faster. This is at 3:40, and then we're going to 3:50, and then we're going to 4 hours. So there are many operators that dial in like that, because then you can set expectations and you can manage things a bit more tightly in those critical hours of the day. And then you've got your day-by-day breakdown, you've got your month-by-month breakdown, and you're so consistent. And even though April was super busy for you, you actually got so good that was your fastest month of the year, apart from December. So well done. Like, this doesn't happen by chance, right? It happens by design, because you're putting the effort in. And you can never know enough about your business. So what I like is your different viewpoint on Dev Week, right? And obviously, once you have the data, you can analyze it, you can understand it, and then you also know when and where to pay attention. One of the things that I want to always encourage is, once you have the data, you need to act. And yes, you could say, hey, what if we set our default goal time to 4 hours 20? We'll always be green and everything's easy. No, but you need to tighten things, right? So that you have better controls. And that's when you bring real consistency. So your decision, knowing what you know now, has been to do just that. Am I right?
Yep. Yep, absolutely. Tighten it up a little bit more. I don't know if we'll go to 345, maybe 350 to start, just to give myself a little bit of cushion, and we'll see how it ends up actually looking. But we're liking what we're seeing so far.
Nice. Yeah, so here's that. You can set up your time of day when you want what goal time to run. Here's a 3:30. That's really fast lane golf in the morning. And then you've got your Saturday, Sunday. You're giving people a bit more breathing space on the 4 hours. And it's great that you can be so granular around how you want to manage things. And then all you have to do is set some level of expectations and go. And the nice thing is that this is so much less complicated than a renovation, right? Because once you've done a renovation, this is it. Here's like, hey, if something doesn't quite match up, let's change it. Like, it's touch of a button, adjust it, run data through it, and confirm or amend what you thought would happen, and then you get better, right? So here's your group status for the whole season: 70% on pace, 6.2% was slow, and then there's a few delays. That is because you set things up nice and tight. I can tell you, if you don't manage things so well, this goes red and all the bad colors very quickly, right? It is really because you've got such good processes, and your members have that line of sight also, and your players with the screens, they can keep themselves and hold themselves accountable for the most part. Lots of blue. Blue is fast, like I said. Sometimes might be a fast play issue. You've got 22% of your rounds playing 40 minutes faster than your goal time was. That's a lot of quick golf, and that obviously shows in the averages. And here's your hole by hole run times. Tell us a little bit about what you've learned here versus your initial assumptions of how each hole should run, and what you've done to make adjustments.
Well, when you don't have any way of tracking hole by hole, everything's a guess. So when we first started off, it's 10 to who knows how many minutes a hole. Until you're actually able to track it, it's impossible to figure out what your pace of play should be. Once you start tracking it, you start to see it's just like, okay, this hole is much quicker than we thought it was. This hole is much slower than we thought it was, and we can kind of start tweaking it and tightening up a little bit. And I mean, from a pace of play standpoint, I think we've done a really good job, like with Cole and Sean, and making the adjustments that we've made throughout the season. We're really close, and you can see it on that graph there. The greens and the reds, even the reds, not terribly off. Other than maybe hole number 2. Right? Number 2 is a par 5, so it is what it is, and it's got water that runs, in the middle of a little ravine or something. So it's like, that's definitely a hole that has the potential to play a little bit longer than it normally would. So we're really tight. We've done a really good job working with the team, at Tag Marshall to make sure that these numbers all make sense.
Yeah, and that's great to see. And look, that's your entire season's accuracies down to 7 seconds on your third hole. And I just saw that the Corn Ferry Tour now publicizes their golfers' pace of play, and they literally go down to the seconds because that's the elite level, right? And it's great to see how much accuracy you guys are achieving here. And so look, the next opportunity for us is, how do we use machine learning and AI to make sense of what happens tomorrow at your golf course, right? Because the wind might come gusting, or it's a different direction, and we can now tell you with 90% accuracy already, this is what's going to happen. So you can then make adjustments to your pin location, for instance, make something harder or easier to balance out some of these conditional variables. So this is where I get very excited as a nerd, right? But already you guys are so good. I need to speed up a little bit here because with so many good talking points. But I mentioned the player profiles earlier. We've got a few tour player names here because we're not gonna share your member names. But you can then see how many groups, how many rounds did they play. What tee times do they normally use, and what is their status? And it's the same colors carrying through, right? And also, who did they play with, right? Because sometimes the combination is better or worse for when it comes to pay status. And yes, you can have an educational conversation, but you can also have a conversation that's saying, hey, I'm seeing that you're falling out of position on these or those holes. How can I help you game manage better? Why don't we do a lesson, right? Why not? So this is helpful rather than waving the stick. One thing I love what you guys do here is using the screens for communication and ads. Why don't you share a bit what's working and what some of the impact has been?
Yeah, so even before this, there was I wouldn't say a marketing problem, but there was a marketing opportunity here. A lot of stuff that we were doing to generate revenue or participation, it wasn't at the level that it needed to be, and I'm very grateful that I had the opportunity to come on board here and kind of help out in some of those aspects that I'm fairly good at, which is marketing and advertising. So what we did is, and we seen it in hard goods, we seen it in events. When we started advertising events, we got more participation. When we started advertising hard goods, when we actually started putting the schedule together, our hard goods sales went up. I mean, I think we're like 27% higher than we were last year. That's huge. That's a big difference in your shop sales. And then also making your advertisements interactive. So if say for a demo day, it's like if I don't put a QR code on there with a link to actually sign up, you're going to see the demo, you're going to see the advertisement, and you're going to be like, oh, I'll sign up for that later. And you're not going to sign up for it later. You're going to completely forget about it. But if I make it so it's easy and in the moment when you're actually thinking about it, scan the QR code and you sign up in 12 seconds, and now you're signed up for a demo day type of thing. So that's helped immensely. It's a way to garner more participation all the way across the board. If you can't put it in front of them, the emails, they don't see emails, they don't see text messages, or everybody communicates in different ways. So it's this is very visual and interactive, and it makes it make sense for us.
That's very cool. And I imagine also you can then also create urgency. I know if you're into marketing, that's something that normally works. So you might say at some point you change this ad and you say 80% booked, right? And all of a sudden more people will come, and it literally takes you 5 minutes, make the adjustment, and you can get more interaction, more signups. Another opportunity is to dial in some of the food and beverage so that you can control your turn times and or increase food and beverage. So the way to do this is you can use QR codes, but also just use the tag marshal order system that then transfers the information into the halfway house or whatever the case may be, so that they know 10 minutes ahead of time, 15 minutes ahead of time, you can set this up, what this group that's coming in is wants to have, and then they can get that ready and personalize the service. I know that's something for you guys to dial into, and you must excuse me jumping ahead, but I'm mindful of everyone's time. We'll be done in 1 minute. Last parting thoughts here from you, Adam. Has it been a success? Would your members say yes, because they ultimately pay your bills, right? Yes. It's been good for us.
I will say that there's growing pains. Like when you're introducing a technology that they haven't had before, you're gonna get some feedback. But as time has gone on, the benefits have vastly outweighed, any issues that, they may have perceived that we had. But it's phenomenal. They're being able to see their yardages and being able to pinpoint things. Like there is value to them, as they're going out and doing it. We've not had anybody be like this, even if they thought they're like, oh, it's going off on this hole. It's like, well, it's because you're where you weren't supposed to be. It's not. There's no mistake in what's going on there. So as soon as we've all kind of, basically gotten used to the system, and now the members know where they're supposed to go and where they're not supposed to go. We're in a drought right now, and our golf course looks phenomenal.
Sure.
The benefit is so huge, and it just took a little while to kind of, for everybody to figure out why, we're doing what we're doing. But that's why they hire golf pros.
Yeah, for sure. No, I love that. So look, I mean, if you have an end of season AGM, you would know what's going on, right? And but if you can say, hey guys, 3 hours 41 average pace the entire season, and what do you guys think of the conditioning? Thumbs up. That proves the case for you in terms of the controls that you've put in place, and it's growing pains. Changes nowhere near as hard as a renovation, right? But the decision sometimes is status quo pain versus change pain, right?
Yeah.
The future waits for no one, right? So we have to take the step and go there. I want to close out and thank everyone for your time. If you're interested in further education, we've got some really cool content on our Tag Marshal Academy. Some of that's PDR accredited. You want to learn a bit more, 40 minutes here or there, about revenue optimization experience. You can pick your topic and then you get another credit. You will get one today. And another thing that we've just launched that using AI here quite smartly is Tag Assist, which is a little bot that has a Tag Marshal brain. Everything to know about Tag Marshal support, the system, what it does, that lives in the system, and you can talk to it and ask questions. It's really insane. That 2 years ago wouldn't have been possible. So super excited about that. And everything is about people, right? So I want to thank both of you, Brandon, for sticking around. Appreciate you. Adam, for giving us your time, and for driving such fantastic performance at the club with your team, and also our team. You mentioned Sean, you mentioned Cole, who is the customer success rep, who's actually a PGA pro himself, helping you.
Yeah, shout out to Abdul too. Abdul definitely, he's been a go-to for sure.
From our support team, and he's going to love to hear that. These guys work so hard and they care, right? And I can't ask for more, me and my business partners, and have people who care and want to help our customers be better. So thank you so much for your time. I hope you get a bit of a break now, and I hope you guys get lots of rain, not too much rain very soon, and then we're excited what you're going to do next season.
Yep, us too. I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
Brilliant. Okay, thanks both of you. Thanks everyone for sticking around and for giving us your time today. All the best.